Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? This is Rick with Hit and Run Candlesticks, and today is Tuesday, October 13th. Thanks for listening and watching our video blog. We sure appreciate it. A couple of quick reminders. If you're able to, today at 11:45 Eastern, I will be hosting a live intraday webinar over at Live Trading Alerts, and I'll make sure the link is posted in the chat below the video. Okay, if you'd like to come listen in, participate, we'd sure love to have you. Also, if you're not able to do that, and it will be recorded, so we'll certainly get you the recording. Also, this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will also be hosting a webinar later this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you're able to participate, I'd sure love to have you. All right, let's take a look at the market. Earnings, and more earnings. We want to be very careful. Sometimes we enter charts not knowing there's earnings, and sometimes that is a surprisingly good thing, and there's times that it's a surprisingly bad thing. So I think the key is just be sure you know when the earnings are. So a lot of the charts I'm looking at today, they've got earnings coming up. So could be 30 days, could be 15 days. So keep track when those earnings are. On TC2000, just to give you a look here, you can see that TC2000, you're able to put the earnings date up here on one of the top information bars. And I'm sure that all good quality programs can get you those earning dates as well. And there's various ways. You can Google it, and who knows. Okay, let's take a quick look at the SPY here. First thing and foremost, as far as I'm concerned, we are extremely overbought. So what does that mean? Well, it just means we're overbought. It does not mean that we can't go higher. Doesn't mean that we can't just go flat. It's not a guarantee that we're going to drop dead and roll over right here. It just means we're overbought. It means more caution should be taken when you're trading charts. So let's just be a little cautious with that. The SPY right now, it looks determined to challenge the September highs up here. It looks absolutely determined to do that. Nice chart pattern. If you look at the price action on the chart pattern, we've got a inverted head and shoulders here. This would be the left shoulder. This would be the right shoulder. I'm sorry, the head, excuse me. And this would be the right shoulder. But even in a inverted head and shoulders, it's okay to have a bit of a pullback. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but you can bet that I'm sure preparing for that, eliminating risk. And that's another thing. I will be this week. I will be really trimming and reducing my risk by fewer positions in the market going forward this week here. And as closer we get to the election, I'll even be less risk will be out there. So, alrighty, I've got this red mark up here. Let's go to a 3-bar chart. And 3-bar chart, 130-minute works out really, really well. Gives you that 3-bar chart here. So yesterday, we put in a little selling toward the end of the day. And right now what I'm looking at is if we start running below 352.10, 352.12, then there is a good probability we come back into the 348.80, 349 area right in here. There's a good chance of that. And then we want to keep track of this gap right through here. This gap may cause price to sneak down in there. So let's just keep an eye on that. If we don't get below that 312, 352.12 area, 352.10, then I would say that the bulls are still in good form, just like they were yesterday. FNGU. FNGU is acting very good. It kind of looks like the big tech is stepping back up. A few fears of COVID kind of coming back, and that brings back the work from home stocks, and the FANG stocks are certainly those. Of course, FANG got a big jump from Apple yesterday. Apple was a monster yesterday, moving up. Looks like it's higher today. A little resistance right in here. We get through this area, then you've got the gap up here. Amazon also big in the news. Whoops, big in the news that AMZN. There we go. Big in the news with their big sale. So they're kind of hot to trot right now, and that's pulling that FNGU or the FANG stocks up pretty well. All right, let's take a look at a few trades. Well, here, let's look at a couple of things that I did yesterday. I had sold my Intel Friday, protecting my profits, and I bought more back yesterday and closed on the green side, and it looks like we're gapping up a little bit on Intel, so way to go, Intel. I also bought a little Coke yesterday. That Coke, now, my Coke, I bought that with the idea that I planned to buy more if it pulled back. Now, when I bought it yesterday, this was a pretty hot and heavy candle here. Looked like it was going to hold up, but it did not, and that's okay. Looks like we're moving down this morning a little bit, so this is where I will look to add to this position when the time is right. And that's, I've got it set up on the scanner. These are 5 of my 25 scanner windows that I have up. So I've got it ready, and when it starts to alert, in other words, I don't have to stand here and watch it. I don't stare at it. When it starts to alert for my buy, then I will come in, take a look at the chart, and make that final decision, and then I'll look for that add to on the pullback of Coke. PAYX. Again, today at 11:45 Eastern, I will be doing a live webinar for live trading alerts, and I'll put the link in the chat below. The reason I'm saying that again is last Tuesday, I bought, during that live webinar, I bought PAYX. Now, it was on this candle right here. Now, when I bought it, it was actually looking very, very good, up very nice. And by the end of the day, it just crumbled. I stayed in it because it stayed above the T-line here. It was in the trap, and it's worked itself up. And I closed that out yesterday with a little base hit profit. Now, it might want to run a little higher, but I'm kind of stepping out of the market a little bit. I want to reduce my risk, so I thought this would be a good one. Besides, I may look to buy 1 or 2 today during today's webinar. So I hope you can be there. I truly do. Trade ideas for today. Let's take a look at those. All right, so let's, now we'll leave this chart up. CXX may be trying to run up here and break out. Here we've been bullish, and now you can see that bottom that we're putting in. A nice rounded bottom, lows, lows, lower lows, and then we start, lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. And that's how we create that bottom in here. So what I'm kind of looking at is over 81.40. This could be a $90 stock. That's very possible. We need to see that breakout, and I would get it if somebody, wanted, to buy inside this area here. I would just use the T-line as my guideline, and that's how we use the T-line an awful lot, as a guideline. stay with the T-line trend. As long as we don't close below that, then I suspect everything will be just fine. Probably a little consolidation up here at this resistance area, the recent high. But on a breakout again, I'm looking for a possible $90 stock here. Let's look at some banks. And FITB is a good regional bank. FITB has come. This is. I've been working on an alert. This one right here is one of them. And what the alert is, or chart pattern / alert, is when a stock within a certain amount of days goes from below the T line. It doesn't have to close, it just has to be a low down there. It goes from below the T line to above the T line and higher to pull back into the trap. This would have been a pullback right here as well. This would have been a pullback into the trap. So FITB is one of those that goes from below the T line to above and then back into the trap area. I think that's a nice chart setup. It also gives you the low to a high to a higher low, and then this is where we look to be buying inside the trap area right here. So FITB is setting up for that. FITB, everything continues the way it is. I see FITB challenging the February highs over here, and that puts you up around $30. So even if it never made it to $30, but if it made your goal or your target, I mean, just to move up. Let's see here. Let's do this. Let's move this to a 2-day chart just so we can see everything here. So we're looking at buying FITB, and just about halfway, that's 13.25% on the stock. So that's 20+% on the option, and that's what we'll look at doing, is trading the simple directional option. That's all I trade, puts and calls. And so anyway, FITB has some potential here. Just again, we've got this on our scanner, and when it alerts for a buy, and the alert could be a couple of things. It could be an alert breaking out of yesterday's candle. It could also be on a lower low followed through, and follow through with bulls stepping in, giving us a pattern down here of holding support. So we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll let the scanner do the work for us and bring it to us. McDonald's, you can see McDonald's is here on this one that I was just talking about, crossing and then trapping the 3T or trap. So here we are below, and we're in a nice trend. That's another thing I want to point out. We're looking for bullish trends. We like to trade something that's got a trend to it, or something that's started a very new trend, but we don't want to pick bottoms. For instance, I don't want to try to pick that. There's no trend there. No short-term trend. Certainly, you can see the 50-period moving average is trending. But I don't trade with that. I just use that as is the stock trending overall, but I don't use it to trade with. I use faster moving averages for that, and price action. So I wanted to rally up and then pull back into the trap. Rally up, pull back into the trap, and it did. Rally up and pull back into the trap like it is. So with McDonald's, it's setting up here. I think I'm liking McDonald's on a breakout. I don't know that I'm actually liking McDonald's buying it earlier, unless you're very strict with a stop. And if it did go below yesterday's low, I'd be stopped out in a heartbeat. But on a breakout, McDonald's could be a pretty nice chart. Here's DVAX. DVAX is in a downtrend here, and you can see that it's over the T-line. Years and years ago, this is actually how the T-line got started. Here we go, right here. This is how the T-line actually got started. Very few people in the world make money. Short-term swing traders make very few short-term swing traders in the world make money trying to pick bottoms. This is long-term hold stuff down here if you want to buy it. So what I did years ago is I figured out that if I allowed the T-line to guide me, because price under the T-line is a downtrend based on short-term swing trading, price above the T-line, this stock is trending based on short-term swing trading. So here we're up and moving sideways now, and you can see the T-line is higher here than it was over here, and we've got a nice bullish day here. We've got 5 candles of consolidation. We've got a pop out of the box setting up. So with a positive move on DVAX, I'm looking, I'm going to move this up a little bit here. I'm looking for this 315 area, then 570, 575 up here, around the 50 period moving average and the 200 simple up here. So a lot of good money can be made just to the 34 EMA. That's the orange line. We're looking at 10.5%, followed by 23.5% up here toward that 50 period. Another chart that looks really, really good here to me is Ford. Now, Ford has been on a big move. I'm not interested in buying it right away. Actually, what I'm interested in Ford is pulling back a little bit. Now, if it doesn't, then I won't make the trade. It has to come to me. It has to come to my, it has to play by my rules. My rule says to pull back and consolidate a little bit. And if it does, then I think Ford is a pretty nice chart to take a look at. Here we go. Let's get in the pot scene. If you have missed the pot scene, don't worry. There's plenty of room for it to go. If you've already been a part of it, congratulations, way to go. Well, Telray here. Telray, let's look at this chart. This is a rounded bottom breakout setup. Now that we've closed above the 15 period moving average, you can see on my TC2000, it flashes that when it is. So now that we've rallied to the 50, we broke out of the 50 period moving average, and now we're testing it, and we held yesterday. So what I'm looking for here is trading over, say, 615, the 50 period moving average. Right in here would be a buy area, and then the big directional target on a rounded bottom breakout is the 200 period moving average. So you can see there's a ton of room up here to make some money. Just have to trade that price, manage your trade, and don't forget to profit into strength. Another one I'm taking a look at here is ET. Now, ET is not a rounded bottom breakout, but it's awfully close. So if ET can put together enough strength to break out over the 50 period moving average, it becomes a rounded bottom breakout. Now, this is a pretty nice bottom that it is constructed down here. Our trend indicator has turned green. We've got a Fig Newton, not a perfect Fig Newton 3-bar chart pattern, but awfully close. And what that is a big white or green candle, black or red candle, and then another green or white candle here. So once we get over that 615 area, to me, this becomes a buy, and I'll trade it based on rounded bottom breakout rules, and our big direction here will be toward the $8 range or the 200 period moving average. Now, if somebody wanted to trade this a little earlier, I totally get it. I would just simply draw trend up. I'm going to use the T line here, right there, and just extend that. So anything in this area can be bought. If it started to break down below yesterday's low or the previous day's low, well, I just would not want that trade at all. So anything in this area right now, a breakout, I think this chart may be setting up, if you're following some oil, and there has been some oil charts lately start to carve out a bottom. That doesn't mean they're gonna do anything. We're still watching them, but this is one poised to make an RBB or rounded bottom breakout, and this is where we look. We like to buy those rounded bottom breakouts. Alrighty. Hey, I hope to see everybody today. Today is Tuesday, October 13th, and I do this every Tuesday at 11:45 in the live trading alerts trading room, and I will put the link below in the chat. And if you're not doing anything tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be hosting the Hit and Run Candlesticks Tuesday night webinar. Hope to see you in both places. Thanks for watching our video. You guys have a great day trading.